Okay, perfect. There you go. Okay, welcome everyone to today's session that we're having with a very big announcement that we're very excited about sharing with you. I'm so pumped. I can't wait to tell you what's going on. I'm guessing everyone here loves cacao. If you're here, I have a little cup of cacao here myself to celebrate the fact that we're here announcing something so exciting about our work and our projects that we always do with Cacao. Anyways, welcome. It's so nice to see you. I see a lot of familiar faces here, but I'll still introduce myself because I'm sure there's some people who don't know me. So if you know me, you're gonna have to hear the introduction again. But my name is Sulvay Barrios, and I'm the co-founder of the Mayan Wisdom Project. I started this project approximately 5 years ago, almost 6 years ago now, with my dad. My dad's name was Carlos Barrios, and he was one of the most renowned Maya elders in Guatemala as well as in the world. He's the author as well of the Book of Destiny. Pásame el libro, mi papá. I'm going to show you the Book of Destiny in 1 second. He was the author of the Book of Destiny, and he was part of the Council of Elders here in Guatemala. Gracias. This is the book my dad wrote. Some of you might even have the book. I know that. Anyways, he was amazing and he did so much work here in Guatemala. We started this project together 5 years ago, and the reason for that was we wanted to first, we saw that spirituality is becoming super trendy in the modern day world. And even the Maya spiritual leaders in Guatemala today say that that's in a way a really good thing because people are coming closer to practices and traditions that invite you to do things that are obviously really good and positive for you, such as finding balance for yourself, finding harmony with the earth, especially with the earth. The Maya spiritual leaders are really happy about that because it means we're getting closer to doing things a little bit better than how we're currently doing them for the planet, for the earth. Still, when things become trendy, that's a little bit dangerous because here in Guatemala, no one even knew what Maya wisdom was except for the people who were practicing it and growing up with it, and for whom those people, that was their heritage, anyways. And then all of a sudden, we just saw like all of these people coming from outside, and all of a sudden, we saw everyone saying, I'm a Mayan spiritual leader, even though that takes 20 years to study and you have to have permission, and it's a whole process. And people selling like 2 week courses, 2 month courses to become a Maya spiritual leader. And we were like, what's going on? You know? So that's why we started the Mind Wisdom Project to open up space for actual and real teachers, like real Maya spiritual leaders, real teachers of the Maya tradition to like, we thought if someone should be sharing this, if the world wants to hear about it and someone should be sharing it, it should be the actual people, right, who are working with it. And also, we thought like so many Maya spiritual leaders, so many healers in Guatemala live in situations of poverty. Unfortunately, it's a long history of my country, why that is, right? It would be a long story to tell you why the situation is like this. But and anyways, we thought, well, so many people are coming here and financially benefiting from this. And if someone should be able to live off of their work and off of their wisdom, it should be the Maya people themselves. So we thought, let's create this project. It started with my dad, but he passed away the same year where we began the Mind Wisdom Project. So, with even bigger reasons, I decided to continue to honor his legacy and to honor his work with more than 50 years as a Maya spiritual leader. And that's who I am, and that's who we are. And on that journey, for me personally, the most important thing that I wanted to do with my life, and I didn't know I was going to get through to do it through my own wisdom, but I always knew that I wanted to have a positive impact in my country because thanks to my dad, we spent my entire childhood and life traveling around, which is so beautiful, but also I got to see like so much of the poverty and so many of the horrible things that are happening here and the injustices. So my dream in life was to be able to do something about that. And now, thanks to the Mind Wisdom Project, I am able to do that because what we're doing with our earnings is we're supporting communities in Guatemala. We already started with the first community more than 1 year ago. It's called San Pedro Cabnave in Alta Verapaz, Guatemala, and we support a community of 108 families in beautiful ways. But if I get into it, this session is going to be too long, so I'm just going to leave it to that. But anyways, our mission is to create a safe and authentic space where you're safe, okay? and whatever we're going to share with you, we know you're going to be safe and you're going to be doing things correctly and it's not going to hurt you, right? Because that's one of the bad things about people who don't know what they're teaching, because a lot of spiritual practices and whatnot are about your mental health, your emotional health, and that's not something you can play with. That's why teachers of the Maya tradition train for years, if not decades, before they even touch a patient or talk to people. And so our priority is that you're safe, that the real Maya teachers are the ones who benefit from it and who are the ones who share, that we only share what we have consent to share, and that we get to support the country by doing what we're doing. So yes, that's what we do. Anyways, okay, we've been doing that for years. If you didn't know us, that's what we do. Okay, and so as I said, we have a really big announcement today. We're really excited about it. So, in that same way, right, that we realize that spirituality has become so trendy, all of a sudden, I'll tell you the story briefly. All of a sudden, cacao in that journey became really trendy too, like ceremonial cacao. And then all of a sudden, we started to see people going and saying, like, oh, like Mayan cacao ceremony. And at first, I was like, what's that? You know, like, what's a Mayan cacao ceremony? I was like, I feel like if there would be a Mayan cacao ceremony thing, I would know about it. Like I would have gone to one. So I was like, but I want to make sure I'm not wrong, you know? And maybe there is a Mayan cacao ceremony. So I called my aunt, I called all my family. I started talking to everyone, all the spiritual leaders I know, and I started asking them, have you ever heard of a cacao ceremony? And everyone was like, a what? You know, and I was like, right, it's not a thing, right? Then my aunt was like, well, maybe talk to the Quechua people because they're in the Mayan world, they're the guardians of cacao, the Maya Quechua nation. They're the ones who work with cacao the most and preserve the traditions of cacao, right? And so I started talking to a lot of people in the Quechua nation. We still work with a lot of people in the Quechua nation. Actually, all of the cacao in our shop comes from the Quechua nation. Lanquín is in Alta Verapaz. That's the Quechua nation. Cabón is in Alta Verapaz, right? That's also the Quechua nation. And so all of the producers we work with are Quechua, right? That produce cacao and they protect its history, its culture, its roots, right? But every person we talked to was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, what's a cacao ceremony? So I was like, okay, so I'm not wrong. This doesn't exist. I guess someone made it up and decided to call it Mayan for some reason, even though it's not, right? So, but in that journey, because honestly, like full transparency, I didn't know too much about cacao when I started doing this research. And the reason is cacao in the Maya tradition is just as important as everything else in the tradition. For example, during Maya fire ceremonies, cacao is used as an offering. So I always held cacao in my hands since I was a kid, you know, but I didn't really know like that it's so good to consume it or anything like that. I always saw my dad just offering the cacao to the fire as an offering during Mayan fire ceremonies, for example, right? And so basically, you know, like I saw cacao my whole life, but I saw it just as much as I saw tobacco, like the cigars, as much as I saw incense, as much as I saw pom and copal and quilco and rue and every other thing that is also sacred, chilca, you know, everything that is also sacred in the Maya tradition. For me, cacao was just one of the many things, you know. And so I thought, well, obviously, each one of those materials, each one of those things has a long history. Some of you who've been with us for long know what I'm talking about. We talked today in the 20-day cacao challenge, for example, we talked about ocote, right? Like how sacred, you know, the whole story of ocote, like cigars and tobacco. So crazy, like the story of cigars and tobacco. Copal, I don't know if you saw recently a video we posted on Instagram about like what the process of making copal so deep, so sacred, it's medicinal and has so many benefits. And for me, cacao was just one more thing like that. But then all of a sudden, the entire world was talking about Mayan cacao. And I was like, okay, well, what is this? And so people kept on asking us, like, when are you going to do a cacao ceremony? Because we were already sharing just the Maya geocosmovision and tradition. And I was like, no, no, guys, there's no cacao ceremony. I don't know what you guys are talking about. We're not going to be doing a cacao ceremony because for us, that does not exist, right? And people kept, we received so many emails and comments of people saying, like, when are you gonna talk about cacao ceremonies and teach us how to do cacao ceremonies? And I was like, I'm not gonna be teaching you how to do something that does not exist. But I started to be like not super happy with this whole movement because I was like, what is this? Like I don't like it because it's like, why are they using Mayan and teaching Mayan wisdom and they don't even know what they're like talking? Like, this is not even Mayan. Like, the Mayans never said half of the things that a lot of these people are speaking about. And then we started to see all of this cacao trainings to become like a person who can do Mayan cacao ceremonies. And I was like, no. So I thought, you know what? If you can't fight them, join them. It's like, if people want to learn about cacao so badly, how about we teach it to them and we talk to the Kekchi people and we talk to the Maya people and we do a cacao program as well, but we do it properly and we teach people the true history of cacao. And if they really want to work with cacao so badly, we thought, how about we teach them how to work with cacao, but properly according to the Maya tradition? And like, what's the difference? How can a Maya spiritual leader work with cacao versus a person who's just like any normal random person around the world who wants to do it, but is not a Maya spiritual leader? How can you do it respectfully, authentically, appropriately, with consent from Mayan teachers? They teach you. So we did it. We did it like 5 times, and it was many years ago, right? And it went so well because people were they loved it just like I did because I went from what is a cacao ceremony to learning, opening the door to something I didn't even know was gonna be life changing for me, like the process, like you don't know, like the process of cacao farming and the production of cacao, and then the ways it was used for spirituality, spiritual practices, community practices, healing, medicine, is way beyond what a cacao, like a cacao ceremony never could never. So basically, we were just like we were just like, wow, like I was just like, this is amazing. This world I just opened the door to. And that's when we started, also started the Mayan market, sharing cacao, like, and now, we have cacao from Lanquin, which is 100% handmade, cacao from Cabon, which is almost 100% handmade, follows all of the different processes from Mayan fire ceremonies at the cacao farms, working with the heirloom strands, like so many things. A lot of you guys know it. If you know it, you probably love it. I mean, I'm a little biased, of course, but honestly, no, I feel like it is the best cacao in the world, at least for me. So basically, you know, then this program that we used to do, like we just kind of, I don't know if you saw like the journey and everything. We just started like going back into more like general mind wisdom and creating like transformative and healing programs that are not just about cacao, but everything in general about the Maya tradition and geocosmovision. But that was 2 years ago. And since we stopped doing the cacao training program, we have consistently received emails and questions from people asking us, when will it ever come back? So like a couple of years ago, we started a waiting list in case we ever want to do it again. And then a couple of months ago, I was like, gosh, the waiting list is huge. I was like, we still have people asking like, when are you going to teach about cacao again? Because I want to find an authentic source to like do the work that I'm doing with it and everything. So I was like, okay, you guys are asking for it too much. Like at this point, we just have to do it. Too many people were asking for it. So we were like, okay, let's do it. So that's the big announcement. The cacao training program is back. We're gonna do at least one round of it just because you asked for it so much. I don't know if it's gonna be permanent again or if it's just gonna be a one-time thing. We're gonna decide as we go because you know me, that's how I roll, that I decide as I go. With these things, usually I just get a feel for them and then decide. But this time, a couple of months ago, I woke up one day and I was like, you know what? We're doing the cacao training program again. Um, so basically, what's the cacao training program? It's a 10-week program. It is live, okay? Because that's the important point of it. If we're going to be teaching this, and we're not going to be teaching it only for people who are like cacao lovers because you drink it personally. But again, our entire point for starting this program was if people are going to be working with cacao anyways and facilitating events and working with others with cacao, they have to know how to do it responsibly and properly. So for that reason, this program, we can't do it like as we do a lot of our programs, the challenge, the journey where it's like unlimited, any amount of people can join it. This is limited, it's a very small group, I mean. And the reason for that is I wouldn't even dare to teach that because the teachers are going to be teaching you how to work with it. So it's taught by several teachers from the Kaqchikel and Kaqchi nations. It's taught by Mayan spiritual leaders, cacao farmers, cacao producers, experts in the history of cacao, experts in like just the nutritional benefits and everything, like all the like physical aspects of cacao, experts in the spiritual aspects of cacao. So many people will come together in order to do this program. Honestly, that's also partially why we stopped doing it. The amount of work and people that goes into this program is crazy for us, like logistically, effort-wise, and also when we do something, we love to do it right. So it's not even just the teachers that are in front of the camera, like in every corner of Guatemala, because you're going to connect with teachers from all over Guatemala, right? Like there's an entire team basically just preparing everything that's necessary in order to teach every class deeply and with love, right? And so it's only for a small group of people because if some of you are going to be working with cacao, not just for yourselves, but for other people after the program, then we need to give you super specialized attention. So it's small groups so that you all get to talk to the teachers, ask them questions, have conversations with them, right? So it's like the classes are split into two. It's like the first, it's 2 hour sessions, right? And the first hour is always, just the teacher itself, the teachers themselves, like explaining the concept, and the second hour is like a circle. Everyone gets to talk. We all get to sit virtually, but in a virtual circle, let's say, with the teachers and have conversations with them, ask them questions, like talk to them, like clarify everything. And so that's why we have to do small groups, because if we would have like 60 people, that would be unsustainable and impossible, obviously, right? Like we couldn't do it with 200 people. So it has to be a very limited amount of people. So we're just doing this once. It's probably because you never know with me. I always say this is the last time, and then sometimes I get inspired and do it again. But it might be the last time, but I can't tell you if that's true or not. So, anyways, it's gonna happen from the 10th of January until the 14th of March. Okay, it's a 10-week program. All right, that's the dates. It's gonna be happening on the weekends because we know that, like you will also have access to the recordings, obviously. But because there's the interactive part, we know people are not gonna want to miss the live sessions for that reason. So that's why we do it on the weekends. So that, usually you don't work on the weekend, and that's when usually people have free time. So hopefully everyone will have the opportunity to come. So I'll just give you an overview of the program. Week one is going to be the introduction to the program plus a fire ceremony. So we always start by asking permission. Like we're like a lot of you are going to be working with it, not just for yourselves, but you're already working with it, or I don't know. So basically is an introduction to the program, but a fire ceremony, but specifically to ask for permission. The spiritual leader guiding it will have the names and the information of the people who are participating in the program, and will ask individually for permission to open up the path so that every person there is allowed to work with cacao, because in the Maya tradition, that's how you do anything, right? Like if you're gonna be using any tool of the Maya tradition to work with it, you have to ask the energies for permission. So it's an essential part of the process. So yeah. Okay. Then week two is going to be the history of cacao. We start like with theory a little bit and then move on into the practices. Okay, but like that sounds cool, but like you don't know how cool this class is actually going to be. The history of cacao was always my favorite class because it it's wow. Like it's shocking, it's beautiful, it's profound. It's like you have so many epiphanies. It's really incredible. Like when the Maya teachers tell you about the history of cacao and everything that is done, it's incredible, right? So the second week, I'm sorry, is going to be the history of cacao taught by Maya teachers. Super fun, really amazing. Then week three is traditional cacao farming. And so we're gonna tour a cacao farm in Alta Verapaz, Guatemala. It's like a virtual tour, but the teachers will actually be at the farm during this time. And we're gonna get to explore the entire farm virtually. We're gonna get to see the cacao trees. We're gonna see the whole process of farming it, the process of harvesting it. We're gonna see the pods. We're gonna have a lot of farmers there who are gonna be showing you how they work, all of their processes. That's a beautiful, beautiful class. You get to like learn about the different types of soil, everything, but you get to see it, right? You get to see this. It's amazing. And then week 4 is about cacao production. That class is going to be also held in Alta Verapaz, Guatemala. And several Kekchi women are going to come to teach you about the process of cacao production, every step of the process, right? From fermenting to sun drying, we're going to learn about that, but also the process of wood fire roasting, peeling it, grinding it, including the history, the oral tradition, the cultural and spiritual aspects to producing cacao. And basically, the idea is, that those teachers are I, you're gonna see once you're there. It's beautiful. It's amazing. So that it's a profound process, and you're gonna learn really why, in order for cacao to truly be ceremonial, it has to be made 100% by hand. Also, you're gonna learn at the farm the processes of farming. Like if you don't do it right, it can't be ceremonial cacao. If you don't do production right, it can't be ceremonial cacao either, right? It's is such an entire, profound, and millenary process. It dates back thousands of years, right? So, anyways, then week 5 and 6 are the benefits of cacao. And you might be wondering, why are we taking 2 weeks for that, right? And the reason is because we always split that class into two, because cacao has not just only physical benefits. So yes, we're going to learn about the physical benefits a little bit, but that you can Google, right? We're going to give you something much deeper than just like, oh, it has magnesium and zinc and vitamins. No, it's way deeper than that. We're going to teach you in the first class what are the benefits of cacao for the farmers. So it's like the collective benefits for the farmers, for the communities, for the culture, how it impacts the tradition of the Maya people, how it changed the history of the Maya people, the benefits for the community, and how you can use those benefits for yourself, for your families as well. The spiritual benefits, the emotional benefits. And on the second week, we're going to learn about the individual benefits. So physically, how it affects you and how it'll affect the people that you're sharing the cacao with, but also emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, and how to manage every single one of the effects that cacao has on our body. Then week 7 is materials and music. I told you there are no cacao ceremonies, okay? So basically, if you want to do spiritual practices with cacao, what you're learning is not a cacao spiritual practice, you're learning a Maya spiritual practice. Like how are Mayan spiritual practices held, and how's cacao incorporated into them, and how can you drink cacao in accordance to that, right? So in all Mayan spiritual practices and ceremonial practices, we have different materials. We have the role of music, the role of, like candles, incense, tobacco, all of those different things. So a Maya spiritual leader will come to that session, teach you how to properly work with all of those spiritual tools and materials if you're not an Arquij. Arquij again means Mayan spiritual leader. Obviously, you're not a Mayan spiritual leader, right? So you can't do it like an Arquij can do it, but you can do it, right? But you need to know how to properly do it and how to use those tools respectfully, right? And on that note, the next week 8 is going to be invocation, which is an essential part of the Maya tradition. How do you make an invocation for spiritual practices? For us, this is not a spiritual practice if you didn't do your invocation, right? And it's an entire science, is the basis of the Maya tradition. So invocation is essential. It's completely deep and very profound, and you're going to learn, same, even though you're not an Arquij, how to properly and respectfully do the invocation, right? Then week 9 is preparing the drink. So how to properly prepare the drink, the different ways in which it has to be done in order for it to be respectful, because it's not just like pour water and mix it. I mean, it is. You also have to pour water and mix it, but there's an entire process of preparation if you're going to be using cacao for a spiritual practice, preparing yourself energetically, cleansing yourself, cleansing your utensils, using the cacao, activating it. It's a whole thing. So we're going to devote an entire class to how to properly prepare the drink. And then week 10 is a ceremony with cacao. Okay. Not a cacao ceremony. Okay. It's a Mayan ceremony where cacao is going to be involved. And then the spiritual leader will show us how it would look like for you to already do this practice, right? And now we get to practice everything that we've been learning for the last 9 weeks, right? So now you get to do it in your own space as well as we're doing it in Guatemala and a Mayan altar, right? And you get to do it in your own space and you get to practice everything. Now you know how to do your invocation. Now you know how to do everything, how to prepare your cacao beforehand. So, anyways, this is for two kinds of people, okay? Just people who love cacao in general and just want to deepen their connection with it for yourselves or because you like to share it with your family and friends as well, and you just want to have a deeper connection with cacao, with its history, learn how to properly use it effectively so it has the deepest effect it can on you and I don't know, your partner or the people you share it with and like do it respectfully. It will change your view on life. I don't know how to explain it because it's not just about cacao, it's about something much deeper than that. And when the Maya teachers share it, it changes your view on life, on spirituality, on how to use spiritual tools such as cacao to connect yourself better. So it's for cacao lovers in general who just want to learn about that. But also, as I said, is for people who work with it, who facilitate or share cacao with larger groups so that you can do it, like learn how to do it responsibly, okay? And in accordance to the Maya tradition without hurting the people that you're going to be working with. Because I told you, how many times have I told you? Cacao is medicinal in the Maya tradition. It brings up stuff, okay? I've talked to people who've taken the training before and they're like, I'm glad because like people like maybe like their traumas start to come up and stuff like that comes up and you can't just like be dealing with that irresponsibly if you don't know how to properly handle those situations. So yeah. So it's important to actually know what you're doing. Anyways, so what you get access to with the program is the 10 like sessions, right? The two is 2 hours. It's guided by Maya spiritual leaders. It's teachings, but it's also the Q&A, the circular session, right? It's like direct support to you from the teachers who are going to be communicating with you directly and answering your questions. And you can like just sit down with them because it's such a small group. We actually get to chit chat together every week, right? For 10 weeks and just connect with the teachers and they answer all of our questions. You'll get access to the recordings for a year, and you're going to want that because the sessions are so informative. It's so much information. You have no idea. Like, you have no idea how much we learn. So sometimes, like, even I, like, because I'm also like every time taking advantage and I always learn something new in every training. Like, I rewatch them a bunch of times because it's so much information that is shared. Also, you'll get an official Mind Wisdom Project certificate. Okay, so you will get a certificate that certifies that you did this training held by Maya spiritual leaders and by Maya leaders of cacao in general. Then you'll also get everything you need because we're going to need a lot of things. We're going to be using a lot of things. Obviously, so it's like a cacao kit for the cacao training. So you'll get 2 pounds of cacao because we couldn't decide whether we wanted to send you Lanquin or Cavon. So we were like, just send them both, because you're going to meet the producers of both, right? Lanquin and Cavon, and they're going to be your teachers as well. So 2 pounds of cacao because you're going to need loads of cacao for the training. Also, a hand woven Mayan altar weaving made by indigenous weavers, like Maya weavers, because we know that a lot of you are going to have all of these materials and it's traditional here to have your weaving to place all of the materials. So we're going to send you that as well. The traditional Mayan candles as well that are used in Mayan fire ceremonies because you're going to need them as part of the material for the spiritual practices. We're also going to send you a set of handmade molinillos so that you can prepare your cacao in the traditional way a little bit better than just with a spoon in your house and that's it. Um, Also cacao tea, and there's no reason for that other than I love cacao tea, and I want you guys to also love cacao tea because it's amazing. And to we'll also mention it because when you're doing the process of, you know, producing cacao, the tea comes from the husk after it's peeled. And so we want you to experience the different products that come out of cacao, except for just ceremonial cacao for drinking, right? So the tea is also great and it's a replacement as well. So when someone has contraindications, for example, to drink cacao, either because they're on antidepressants or certain medications have contraindications with cacao, or some people just don't do well with cacao. The tea is so much softer, but it still has the same benefits, but it's much softer. So it's a great replacement for the people who can't drink cacao. And we want you to have that tool as well, especially if you're going to be working with other people, because now you know how you can use the replacement, right? And then, you know, you can also mix cacao with different things sometimes. So we're gonna send you two of the traditional things that you can mix it with, which is chile cobanero and chile chocolate. And there's different recipes with cacao. So for you to just start experimenting with the chiles and everything. Also, obviously, you're going to have access to a premium section, which is like where you're going to find the recordings, but also the community. And this is really beautiful because the community for this training specifically is super essential. It's a small group of people, so you really get to communicate with everyone else. People can pose the questions there. We are very active as a Mind Wisdom Project team in there to continue, even if the sessions are not enough throughout the week. We're answering all of your questions about like the sessions that we just had so we can keep having those conversations in the community. People exchange experiences of how their experience with cacao is changing. So it's a whole thing. And also just all these extra tools, right? Like we have PDFs with glossaries, all the different Mayan invocations, like just all these different like extra, little things that, we all always have, you know. And so obviously, as I said, this is the space to learn Mayan wisdom like safely, because you just heard the whole story of why we're even doing this training in the first place and how it started. And additionally, this program, a really big motivation for us to start this program again is because it is going to support the teachers so much. Like one of our favorite parts about doing this program was that they would benefit so much. And every time with the investment you make, they're always able to increase and invest back into their productions. So for example, last time, like, Elsa and Hector, who are and like all the women who work with Lankin, right? Like they earn so well for this program because obviously it's live. They put hours of work and everything, and it's like they're the teachers, right? So Hector, like for example, last time he told me it's amazing, because we were able to rebuild our entire production, install a bunch of things. They changed their entire house, which their production is like their house is here and their production is here, you know. So they were able to build a new set of stairs, a second floor, buy new things, hire more women. And so this program is really amazing for us and is a big motivation for us to do it as well because it's like an extra boost for them and they are always able to buy more cacao, grow their production, and do even better thanks to this program. So that's what like they get in exchange for sharing their wisdom and teaching everything that they know. They really pour their hearts and souls into this program. So that's basically it. As it is with, our programs, it's like it has a 90-day money back guarantee after the program started. So it's like you're not gonna want it, trust me, because this program is gonna change your life, okay? Because it's crazy. It's the best program we ever created. Like I hands down nothing we've ever done competes with this because it's live, it's with the teachers, is beautiful. You get to interact with them. It's taught in such an individualized and specific way. You get to explore, even though it's via your screen, different parts of Guatemala. It's beautiful culturally, spiritually, it's beautiful, like academically also as well. You learn so much knowledge. It's beautiful in every single way, but always for your safety because we always pour our hearts and souls into everything, right? We always give you that safety. So it has a 90-day money back guarantee. As I said, it started on the 10th of January. And for this program, we always did an early bird special offer. So it's going to be available for 1 week for the early birds, the early Sikins, let's say. And basically is $300 of the program until the 23rd of November. Okay. Again, it's limited spaces. It's been 2 years. I have no idea what to expect. So I can't tell you, like, but the group is super limited and we do have a very long waiting list. So if you are really interested in joining, I would consider joining sooner rather than later because I'm not sure how long the spots are going to be available since it is such a limited group, right? Um, and also if you sign up is for what, November 23rd, you get $300 off, which is always cool, right? It's cool. So anyways, and it's gonna be so exciting. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. You don't understand because for us, of course, it's gonna be so much work, for us and for the teachers. But once we've done that work and we're in the live sessions, it's just it's magical. It's beyond anything. Like you just can't imagine. It's not like, okay, here's the production of cacao, here's the beans, and now here's, like here's how you roast it. It's not like that. I can't, it's one of those things that you can't express until you're in it. But is the energy, the ceremony that goes into it, the spirituality, seeing all the women coming together and teaching and sharing with you and like it's beautiful. It's really profound. So basically, that's the program. Super limited group. Hopefully, we'll have spaces available for a while you think about it. But basically, I can't promise you that because I have no idea how fast it's going to go, especially since it's been 2 years of people asking. So a lot of people were telling us already, like, soon as you publish this ever again, please tell me first so I make it in because we also had a lot of people asking because it's always been so limited that when we stopped 2 years ago, like a lot of people who were intending to make it in didn't make it into that one. And then we just stopped, and a lot of people were like, wait, what? No, I was planning to make it to the next one, right? So now I'm glad those people are going to have the opportunity to join. Hopefully, this time you do make it if you were one of those people. Anyways, so that's it. Martin, Anne, I don't know who is going to post the link here in the chat. So since you guys are live, you're lucky because you're going to be the first ones to see it. We will also send it by email in a little bit, but you guys are the first ones to get access to this link right now because you came to the live announcement. So the link is already there. Martin just posted it somewhere here in the chat. He just posted it again. And so that's it. Hopefully, you're going to be able to join us. And then, if so, I will see you guys from January to March. It's going to be really exciting, and I can't wait to see you there. Of course, if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to reach out to us at info@mindwisdomproject.com. And then our beautiful, amazing, great customer service team will be reaching back to you if any questions pop up about the program. We're also going to be sending you an email soon with the link, the information, but also the video. So if you want to rewatch this video, the recording will be up soon. We'll send that email as soon as the recording is up, because it takes a while to download and then re-upload, but you'll be getting an email as soon as possible with the recording. And again, as I say, that's it. So hopefully you're going to be joining us. And cheers. Have an awesome rest of your day. Happy Sunday. Enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy your weekend. Also enjoy the energy of today, which is if you didn't know that. And I'll be seeing you guys very, very soon. Some of you will be seeing tomorrow. Some of you will be seeing in January. Some of you I'll be seeing in February. Some in December, but I'll be seeing you all very soon. So, anyways, have a beautiful rest of your day and thank you for joining me. Gracias. See you soon. Bye bye, you guys.